coming to you live from the land of chlamydia-ridden koalas. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 245th episode of the Destiny Down Under Vlogcast. As per every fucking week, I'm Log Power Slave, joined by Mustachioed Law Master. Bit of a dickhead, but good bloke. He means well. Look at his face. Look at his face. Smiling games. How are you?
I was going to change what I had on my background, which is my Twitch stats from today. But you know what? Because you've been me, I'm just going to leave them up there. Add some numbers.
Yeah, I can make a graph that looks like that as well. It's just like... It's just the scale on the fucking left-hand side is a lot smaller. Yeah. What a dickless flex. That is pathetic.
No, well, I just accidentally had it up there. So I need to look and then it just...
People are going to be screenshotting it like it's a fucking Destiny trailer trying to get info on the inside of Matt's stream. Fuck. Don't do that. It's pretty sad. Hey,
nothing really happened this week, eh?
Nah, nothing. No news. Nothing really to talk about. Just going to be a short, quick... easy stream today.
Do you know what my favorite tweet was this week?
Yeah, I know. I know which one it'll be.
Someone tweeting at us going, I can't wait for Log to open the 12 and going, nah, fuck this. There's too much things in here. Read it yourself if you're really interested.
Just the look, I'm not reading all that, but I'm fucking happy for you or sorry that happened.
We'll hit the main points.
I fucking read it. I mean, I've read it. I don't know that I can, I don't know what fucking spin I'm going to put on it for anyone that anyone will find useful, but fucking here we are to digest the news as per every fucking week. Anyway, let's just do this super quick because we don't have too much fucking time to linger, but you've been all right? So the Danielle law school server? Pretty cool.
I had traveled Danielle and Dado on the law school, which was really good. Another great time, hour and a half, hour 40 went like that. Done. Gone.
Yeah, I mean,
finished.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the podcast. Oh, fuck. It's just that kind of deal. You get caught up in the mix of talking and it's great. I look forward to catching on the YouTubes. It was good.
We covered a fair few subjects. I love Dado's approach. You can see it's his probably approach to content creation. Was just get a point, tell what I need to know, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Give me the bullet points.
What happened in the last year? Summarize in 2 sentences.
Can you break it down further? Can you just give me the general mood? Danny bringing sandwiches for Matt. How fucking spoiled are you? All that shit's over. No, it's over. It's fucking over. You know it's over. There's going to be a little bub that's going to be the focus of everything, and you won't be able to.
You're going to make fun of me if I eat a cheesy with a fork and knife?
I mean, look, I've long since given up on you. Last week it was I've never seen Alien. This week it's eating fucking cheese on toast with a knife and fork. What hope? Why would I even bother pulling you up now? It's gone. It's over. You know what I figured out? Well, I remembered that I've got faint drift emblems to give out. And then I realised that I've got exactly as many streams until Witch Queen as I do faint drift emblems. So I'm just doing a marbles race to give one away, and fucking people turn up for that shit. They have to endure my shit fucking streams, but people turn up for that. So I'm just doing it to abuse metrics. One per stream. You hand the man a fucking advantage. I'm going to take it.
I've got emblems to give away, but I haven't told chat yet because I didn't want to distract them.
They're best off dealing with one thing at a time.
Yeah, and I've also got the people are getting their Witch Queen Collector's Editions
already. Yeah, there's info in it too. Yeah, I've seen a few Reddit posts about it, and I've gone, no, I won't look. I don't know. I like that people are getting them before the release date. That makes perfect sense to me, but it also kind of sucks when it starts turning up in the digital medias. All right, do you want to jump in?
Here's the thing. they've sort of made those collector's editions like a pre-reading. Look at Beyond Light.
Yeah, true.
It didn't ruin Beyond Light. It
very
literally was
supplementary.
almost necessary to understand what the fuck was going on with Clover's Braid.
Yeah, I mean, whichever YouTuber gets the fucking collector's edition first has the advantage. Because they can make the lore video.
I stopped buying it because I was getting it 2 weeks after release anay. So
yeah, you end up getting a PDF crudely scanned in by a non-pig or something like that. Oh, good old Anon. All right, let's just tackle this in the order of the TWAB, because there has been an absolute fucking mountain of not only Destiny news this week, but Bungie news, and like earth-shaking ructions of change, and apparently not either. So we'll go with the big ticket item that most people seem to be completely fucking confused about on the internet, that the Halo developer Bungie has been bought by Sony. I've seen that regurgitated so many times, but Bungie now part of the Sony stable of studios. I've done a hell of a lot of reading on it, and I initially was like, oh, holy fuck, what does this mean? Like, are we going back to the bad old days of split content and all that sort of stuff? I genuinely don't have any fear of that, and I think that it's I don't know. It seems nearly too good to be true, and whenever things do seem too good to be true, I normally
it's a bit like that.
You know, like, because
it's also a bit like, fool me once, shame on you.
Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me fucking 3 times, get your hat trick. I don't know what the third one is. Shut your face. Look, I mean, clearly they've been in these kinds of relationships before, right? And wouldn't be entering into one lightly. So there's clearly enormous carrots in it for Bungie, in terms of being able to expand, you know, the intellectual property of things like Destiny into other forms of media that they don't currently have the capacity to manufacture. So I think there was a recruitment through the week that the guy that was, I think, produced Arcane, I'm not sure, but he was somehow involved in that. I've lost his name. I should have had the tweet up, but, you know, fucking sue me. I
want to say Derek Sy, but I'm not too sure.
So clearly things are already moving, and if it means that we get fucking hell, we get a show like that about Destiny, sign me up. I'm not sure that I'll be able to let the kids watch it.
I mean, the thing is, it can make or break it though. Like, if it's a bad show, like really bad.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that Halo show that they made back in the day wasn't very good. They got another fucking bite at the cherry. So, the one with fucking Locke in it and all of that, it was pretty dog shit. So, look, I mean, it depends what they do. I mean, there's so much scope in the Destiny sort of canon that they could pick stories that aren't necessarily core to the gameplay experience anyway. Like, I think there's, you know, a mountain of stuff they could do before it would even impact on anything currently happening.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be worried about that.
Yeah,
I honestly hope they do the animation stuff first and like
test the water a bit.
Test the water, get a grasp. I think we know Bungie can get good voice actors. We know they can write good stories. I think animation's probably, I don't want to say easy, but I think compared to making a movie, like when you just got more flexibility.
Yeah, there's less limitation. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know anything about creating CGI, but bad CGI looks bad no matter which way you cut it. But animation is animation, and it sort of all sits in the same palette, irrespective. So,
and we know they always have great art direction, so you would think that. That would hit a home run if they did an animation.
I come from the Xbox side of the fence. I know that you're a PlayStation boy back in the day when we were divided, but I don't hold any huge qualms about this. I think I'm hoping that it's going to be great, and I think it'll go from strength to strength. That, and like, honestly, PlayStation's track history of their studios producing great games over the last few years has been fucking pretty there. Like, you know, Ghost of Tsushima, fucking Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. There's a lot there. So if
Spider-Man. Spider-Man's.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus, there's even more than I thought there was. So look, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be rushing out to try and get myself a PS5 by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't necessarily see it as a negative thing.
Yeah, they've said all the right things, and we just wait and see now. Really, I honestly don't think there will be any noticeable impact on Destiny for at least 2 to 3 years, if any, after that as well. I think apart from, obviously they've put money into retaining employees, like employee retention. They put like 1.2 billion or something into.
Yeah, that was pretty staggering.
Salaries.
And they did the maths of like how much it works out to be for each individual employee, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, but those things are important because I mean, Bungie has spent a long time building the capacity to do and execute this sort of stuff in the timeframes, and they're getting better at it. And I'm assuming that Witch Queen's going to be another step further down that road. So they're going to want the people with experience to hang around and make sure it happens. I mean that, and like they seem to have just blown the fucking doors off in terms of recruitment over the last week too. It is like
every week is like we're recruiting.
Yeah, we're recruiting, and I love the like you see the tweets from the folks that we know at Bungie. Come and work with me. Here's this, and it's like fuck, dude. It's pretty. I don't know. I think it's wholesome in that respect to see someone who's actually there going, come and jump in. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that there'll be some fucking twist in the tail of this story. Maybe the IP that they're developing will end up being a Sony exclusive or something like that. But as you said, Matt, I don't think in terms of
they've basically said there will not be exclusives. I guess in Destiny there's not exclusives.
Okay. So,
I think I don't know. I get the impression Sony's moving away from that now. They gave it a good shot with making a whole bunch of shit exclusives, and they probably have good data on it. And they're like, you know what? I think we're better off just making things accessible to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about how much money they would have made out of putting God of War on PC, right? It would have. Yeah. I mean, I fucking bought it. Just about like half of our group of mates bought it, at least. That hadn't bought it on PlayStation the first time around. So it's kind of like. I mean, I understand the standpoint, but I think the way Microsoft's going about their business and buying up fucking massive studios and saying we're not going to go down that path, we're not going to walk that line anymore. It kind of clearly puts the onus back on Sony to make the decision one way or another to either be the good guy or the bad guy, and I think it's forced their hand a little bit.
I think it was. There was a scramble for talent, and I can't remember where I read or saw this, but that it was getting harder to find talent. And not that there wasn't talent in the games industry, but with crunch and the culture and the toxicity, that I guess there was a prediction that it was going to be harder because people were like, "Why the fuck am I doing this?"
Yeah, what would I want it like? The naive dream of I want to grow up and be a game developer. Not to say that people having that dream are naive, but like clearly there was a pretty massive disparity between what the dream was and what the actual reality
they
was.
They pulled the veil back, and everyone got to hear about.
And everyone kind of went, "Fucking 80-hour work weeks. What the fuck? Like, no, thank you."
Exactly.
And all this pressure and shit. I'm not sure that I want that. So Yeah,
and I think they bought Bungie's not only talent, but they bought experience and tech when it comes to delivering live service games.
True.
Because if anything, Bungie is a story, or Destiny is a story of something that wasn't received well in release and has persisted against many.
Yeah, I mean it's a story of iteration and growth, really. Like no matter how you want to look back at it.
Proof of concept that they could continue with something.
And it's kind of like at points it's been back to its, on its skids. Like is it going to survive where it currently is? And it always manages to pull itself out of the fire and find a new way to be strong. So yeah, I can definitely see Sony wanting a piece of that, and I can definitely see Bungie wanting a piece of the Sony entertainment empire, the movies and all that sort of shit. So I think it'll be an interesting couple of years for us as purveyors of the Destiny content.
I could be making lore videos on an animation.
How much easier would that be if you'd be able to just sit there and watch TV and then I'd be fucking useless at it because I can watch like I've been watching fucking what's it called, Yellowstone. I can't even remember the characters' names. I've been watching 3 seasons of the shit.
No, do you know what happens?
Rage me like what happened with this guy, and I'm like, who?
Everyone's been through this. Well, I don't know if I'm sure the US is the same, but you think, right, watching movies is fun. And then they introduced you in high school, year 11, year 12.
Yeah, fuck.
English,
studying movies.
Studying movies, right? Which is basically law scripts are very close to writing a year 11, year 12 essay. Right? The director thinks this is why this camera angle was like this is what they meant, this is the metaphor, this is a symbology, this is blah, 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 blah. Like, that's what I would be doing if they do you see this little pause screenshots, see this means this.
That sounds fucked, actually. Like that. I'm just going to stay in my lane and watch the TV show and be like, yeah, that was good. Like that kid on the fucking computer just dishing out thumbs up. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But that episode wasn't very good.
It would be fun consuming that content because when Arcane came out, I was like so intrigued about who these characters were. I'm like, what's their backstory? And they're like, oh my God, that's Jinx. And I looked up a couple of videos like, okay. Like it'll be fun. It'll be fun watching as a consumer. It'll be a real fun.
As someone already invested in the universe, it'd be pretty epic. I mean, look, as much as it caught a lot of shit through the week, the trailer for the Halo thing, it kind of rustled my jimmies. Like it got me enough. I was kind of like, some of it I'm not sold on, but some of it I'm like I can't help myself. And like I've not been a big fan of Halo over the last few years.
It looks too shiny.
It kind of does. Yeah, I can. You know, it kind of reminded me of like a Destiny trailer.
Yes.
But yeah. Where you're kind of like, this is all pitched just for like 30 seconds of footage where that's a show, right? Like it's a different animal again. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. It could be shit. Could be good.
It looked a little bit like really, really, really good cosplay.
Man, at the end of the day, it's what it is.
I know, but your job is to make it feel more real.
Not look like that. Yeah, true. Yeah. True. I mean, look, to be fair, and I don't know whether I'll catch fucking shit saying this. Sometimes I think the new Star Wars shows are a little bit that way as well, where they go too far into the like, we're just doing this because we want the fans to froth over it rather than this is an interesting story. Anyway, moving along. 1 million pre-orders for Witch Queen. 1 million. For Witch Queen. Don't get the opportunity to do that very often. That is a lot of people waiting to kick Savathun's teeth in. So
it's always exciting to see how Destiny is perceived by the general gaming community with these big releases because you don't really get it on the small ones. You only get it on the yearly ones. And Witch Queen is pretty big because of the changes they're making. I am very keen to see old players returning, but how many new players jump back into Destiny? And fuck, it's got to be hard. There's going to be so many. Destiny has more currencies than a fucking mobile game right now.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a couple of new ones come Witch Queen too. Like there'll be.
Well, you already know them with like weapon crafting.
Oh, true. Yeah, Jesus. But like in that sense, some of the currency is actually the weapons now. Because like that's the weird thing about that system. Anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. But look, it's exciting times. I mean, we're only 2.5 weeks away from the off, and 1 million players pre-ordering it. It's pretty extensive for a game.
Can't wait to largely not get free into the service.
Yeah, I mean, look, I took time off. I'm like, no, I need a short-term goal because I had to go back into the office and I was all pissy about it because of COVID. And I'm like, I'm going to get sick or some shit. And I'm like, no, I need a short-term goal. So I took the back end of the week off. And then I'm like, fuck, I should have just taken the Thursday, Friday instead of the Wednesday. Because that Wednesday, the day of launch, I'm normally always sitting at work watching everyone else's fucking brains explode about how servers are at capacity.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if we do get to that point, just remember, there's people on the other side of the fucking screen when you're screaming at it, right? They're frantically trying to fix shit up. So just calm the fuck down. We got a weapons and gear trailer. Well, I won't run it because the music in these things tends to be copyrighted, and that plays all fucking havoc with our back end and uploading. But we did see some new gear, some new guns, the worm launcher. I think that's pretty novel. I think it's pretty funny, even though there was a big brouhaha on Twitter about it. The thing I'm most excited about, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it relates to, but the Titan fucking Skeletor helmet. It just looks like a fucking skull, but with a hat on. Looks basically like a Draugr or something from Skyrim. So I'm looking forward to finding out what the fuck is the go with the Skeletor hat. Of course, we got to see some glaives in action. Each of the classes glaive and
exotic glaives for each class, like bubble. You can shoot a bubble for the Titan, tracking lightning on the ground for the Hunter, and Soul Buddy, Arc Buddy for the Warlock, I think.
I feel like Warlock's already got enough buddies. Aren't they on like 3 buddies if you use No Time to Explain? Like you can just buddy it up. Anyway.
I'm just going to make a healing class and just use the glaive with the Warlock, make an Arc Buddy, and then what's the gun? Is it Lumina? You can shoot people to give them out.
I'm just here with all my fucking buddies. Just, yes. I turned up with my own fucking 6-man fire team of bloody floating lights. Right. Okay. So let's dive into kind of the meat and potatoes of this TWAB. Now, I was thinking about this TWAB, right? It's probably bigger than some of the final like assignments and shit I've handed in tertiary education. So I just want to shout out. I think it's a DMG special. Yes, of course it is. So, Dylan, like, imagine pulling this together in maybe 2 weeks or something. Like, what an effort! Fucking and listening to us whinge about bullshit while you do it. Fucking mountainous. So look, I love these TWABs. Whenever I read them, whenever I see how big they are, I get simultaneously intimidated and excited. So. Anyway, I'll stop waffling on. The Enclave. The Enclave is where we are going to go to simultaneously craft weapons and play Twister. Here's a picture of it. It looks like a fucking Twister mat. I will not be told otherwise. It's got different colours on it. What do you make of it, Matty? What aspect of this are you most excited about?
With weapon crafting?
Yes, with weapon crafting.
Well, I mean, essentially it looks like you can create any fucking role you want.
I think there's a bit of pre-work in it, but that looks like
Sorry, the only prerequisite is getting the pattern.
Yeah, the pattern and the perk.
So
You've got to get the
essentially.
What's the name of the MacGuffin gun? The deep sight resonant gun.
Yeah, you got to get deep sight resonance, but it's like you with enough time. It doesn't look like there's anything stopping you from making a 10 out of 10, a 5 out of 5 god roll.
I like that. I like that. And I know that some people have been like, oh, I don't know, is it going to eliminate too much of the chase? I don't fucking care. I honestly
think
believe
it's going to be so grindy that it's going to be one of those things that's like, once you've got your god roll, you're going to lock it and make sure. And then when the next charity event comes up, there's going to be charity incentives. That's delete me 1,000-hour god roll. Whatever, how many hours it makes them.
Yeah, delete my god roll. I don't know. I'll pick one of them. Forensic Nightmare. What's it? Submachine gun. Unlikely. But anyway.
But the thing I'm most excited about, this is it. This is the kicker. Is that you can recraft it.
Yeah. That like if you decide down the line that you go, oh, hang on, maybe Rampage isn't doing what I thought it would, or isn't it quite as impressive as I'd like it to be. Maybe I can. I mean, for me, I think like those last couple of perks, you're probably going to sit on, but I think like the barrels and stuff like that, as you go on and unlock stuff that might suit the weapon that you're using better. I think being able to come along, rejig them, and it not be too punitive in terms of the mechanics of doing so. I think it's great.
Yeah, and you don't have to keep this is going to help alleviate issues with the vaults because you're not gonna need to keep
16 versions of the same gun that are incrementally different, just in case, like next season, one gets a like the amount of fucking dire promises I've got like 6 dire promises, and I know that's like to some people it'd be like, oh, I've got 27 dire promises, and it's my favorite gun, but it's not my favorite gun. It's not even a gun I particularly care about. But the first thing I did upon reading the latest section of this 12, where they're talking about buffs and stuff to the hand cannons, I'm like, oh fuck, I'll jump back in there and see which one of them might be good now. Now you just go and build yourself a fucking good gun. Put the time into it.
Yeah, I think if it's too easy, people will stop playing.
Yeah, I think there is.
If it's too hard,
I'd like to think someone did the maths right of like, if you invest yourself in chasing a gun, right? Say it's a gun that's available in the Crucible, right? Like just a random Crucible drop, so like a frozen orbit, something like that, and you wanted a fucking good roll on it. How long would you really need to dedicate yourself to playing for that? And then they'd have to shift that system and go, okay, well, that's kind of the ballpark for where this like actually building one needs to sit.
I don't even think it would be the ballpark, but some people never get the god roll they want.
Well, true. I mean, that's just fucking cruel at the end of the day. But it happens. This eliminates that. So if it eliminates it at the cost of maybe a little bit more grind, I'm probably still okay with it. And I say that as someone that probably has less time to play than most others. So
I think what this does is it starts leaning way more heavily into build crafting, because as soon as it's not about looking at the RNG you have and then going, okay, I'm going to make a build around this now because I've got this gun and it's going to work cool with this.
Yeah.
It's about like, okay, I can make a gun whatever. What build am I trying to make, and let's make a gun that complements it, and that's very different because that's you working it out.
I think that in a way is probably more like it will feel more rewarding to be like the guy.
Oh
that,
yeah,
aha. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that it's going to be me or you, because we'll just watch like smarter people's YouTube videos on what to do anyway. But for those guys, I imagine they'll be like, aha, what you want to do is go and build yourself a gun with this, that, and the next thing, and then put these perks on, and away you go. You're a fucking DPS beast. So I don't know. I mean, look. Just to lean into the meme tweet of Log Power Slave, if you really want to understand more about how this system works, I'm not going to walk you through it. You can fucking read the 12 on your own.
I'm going to give people the basics though.
Yeah, go for it. But like,
is you get the pattern, you get the blueprint, which allows you to start building the weapon.
Yep.
At first, I believe you're just going to have not many things to choose from, and it's going to be a basic bitch weapon that you got to make and go use to level up.
You're going to have like the introductory weapon. Apparently it's like the second or third mission in, you are sort of brought to this area in the Witch Queen campaign. So I was listening to you talk about it on stream before we started the podcast, Matt, and for some reason I'm under the impression that it's on Mars. I don't know where I got that from.
It said it in the trailer.
Did it? Okay, well there you go. I was listening.
Yeah, it said it in the trailer. Good. I don't know where, but I didn't notice until just today as well.
There you go. So, I mean, Mars is back. We're going there to make weapons. There you
go. So yeah, you start the blueprint, you use your basic bitch weapon to level it up, unlock different slots on it, and then you got to get a drop with these weapons with deep sight resonance on them.
That have the perks that you require. Is it
have the perks you want?
It's one focal perk, right? Or is it like the whole suite of perks on the gun? Because I was under the impression that it was like one focal perk, but I could be wrong.
It says the example it gives is you find a legendary auto rifle with Rampage on it.
Yeah.
And then you use that weapon with Rampage and you extract the deep sight resonance.
Or Rampage.
Well, no, that is the Rampage, and it gives you. It says craft weapon with Rampage or another perk that increases damage.
So Swashy or maybe Kill Clip or.
Well, it sounds like maybe. Let's say you need a Rampage, right?
Yep.
It sounds like Rampage could be grouped together with other damage perks. So, let's say you want a rampage, but you
So
got
it's more
kill
like
clip.
a perk family.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how it's written in the 12, but I don't know if that's correct or not.
Do you think also that's a way of them sort of like controlling a little bit what perks you can put on what guns so they aren't completely fucking broken? Like maybe you
That's
wouldn't
gonna be controlled anyway. They said that every gun will have their perk pools like
yeah,
normal.
exactly. So you won't have, I don't know, kill clip on a rocket launcher or something. I don't know. I'm just like spitballing what would be completely fucking broken on which gun. I mean, Rampage is kind of the middle of the road one. Swashbuckler, the melee is, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting.
So essentially, you'll be leveling up 2 guns at the same time. One gun to
I think you like sort of
receive
going,
the perk,
yep.
and another gun that you got to get the perk from.
And then you extract it. So in that process of extracting it, you're kind of like dismantling that OG weapon, right? Like it's.
We don't know how the extraction.
I kind of like.
Yet.
I feel like it needs to. Then it needs to be part of the price.
We don't know if it's going to be like a single use. Like for example, let's say you get the thing with Rampage on it. You level it up, you extract the Rampage. Can you just level up again and extract the Rampage, or does it lose its ability to like?
Or is it then just a basic bitch one, not a deep sight one?
Then it goes back to like a normal weapon.
The one thing I will say about the deep sight weapons is I'm going to try and keep as many of them as I can, just because I like the red outline. I'm a fan. I like it. I've been looking at fucking gold outlines for too long. I want a red one. Thank you.
You know what? Oh, why? You know what I've realized you're gonna do now?
What?
You're gonna replace the fear for. Oh, you son of a bitch, Log! I'm gonna put it in everyone's head now too. Right?
I think I know what you're about to say because
what the vaults will be full with is weapons with the red outlines, deep sight resonance.
Just in case I need a Rampage, put it on a new gun.
That
just in case this perk becomes good.
And in case people go, Bungie's worked out that this combination is too fucking strong, so we're not going to drop weapons, deep sight weapons with that perk, or there's like some restrictions on the extraction of it, or something like that.
I mean, look, and that has to remain there in some form, right? Like that. The loot, right? We need to be little loot goblins to some extent.
Oh, now everyone's fucking vaults full of the red ones.
Look, most fucking things you're going to be able to reacquire, right? Like that, it's not hard to go out and find a gun with Rampage on it, or 1-2 punch, or fucking,
Yeah, it's true.
Like you can go out and farm these things as you need them, rather than needing to stockpile this sort of shit. I don't think that. That's really a necessity. That, and like some of these guns may be fucking great in their own right, and you may not want to dismantle them. You may want to use them as, them. I mean, odds are there'll be fucking some new legendary gun that'll be deep sight resonant that people are going to be sitting there on, never extracting, because it's just pretty fucking shit hot to begin with. So I kind of like that. Or that, like, there's a real hard decision there to be made. Can I keep this gun, or should I take this perk and try and make something even better? And I feel like those decisions are what makes you proud of the gear that you have, right? So look, scrolling down, we've got a picture of a forensic nightmare, or the come to pass where they've finished the attunement process. So you'll get a little annoying exclamation mark, which will probably do my head in. Don't know about anyone else. All right, and then we jump into like the leveling process of the perks themselves. Now, I didn't see this coming, because this is another level of kind of depth, right? So, if you look at it, where is it? Where are we? I'm just trying to find.
That's what I say. You got to use the weapon. It levels it up, and it unlocks basically slots on the weapon.
Yeah, and it unlocks like the extent of how like potent each perk is too, right? Like,
yeah, can't really see what's in there. I wonder if that's all handling, or if it's like different internal stats.
I don't know. I'm very much looking forward to people getting their hands on it. There will be, like, if you were I When I first saw this, I thought of like Fallout and the guys that make videos about guns, and how much this will add, like depth this will add to the content that they can make now, because it's not just
they don't have to
go
keep
out
hold of
and
it.
grind this until your fucking brains fall out and hope you get this role. It'll be go and do this. This is the most effective way to do that. Go and get this. You'll need this gun. You can get a such and such role from here. I think that there's fucking, and I mean, look, Destiny has always had that, you know, I mean, you're an example of the synergy between Destiny as a universe and the content creators that surround it, right? Like, you know, there was a very, 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 very large period of time when the lore was best explained by Bife and then you. Had to get that one in there. But
Got him.
I don't know. I am really excited about it. And then, of course, the option to shape a new weapon or reshape one that is existing, so that you're not completely destroying, you know, wiping your progress and all of that. I think is great. Mementos.
Basically like skins.
Yeah. I kind of like that idea. I mean, there's skins for guns that you've made. And this surprised me too, that you'll actually be making the new exotic SMG, the Osteos Trigger, in crafting. So part of me is like excited to, you know, I wonder how hard they're going to go into, you know, how much you can change exotic weapons down the line.
They've said that you can change the barrel. Did I say it in here? I don't think. Didn't I say that they're not changing the exoticness of it?
Yeah, I mean, look, you wouldn't want to take the exotic perk off them, but I've, you know, there's definitely.
Oh, yeah. You have the opportunity to customize things like the barrels or stocks.
Yep.
While preserving the exotic look and feel.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the mementos link into a sort of greater theme of this TWAB, which is about to come up, where you get stuff from the activities.
Yeah,
right?
and that's
like,
worth, you know, there's something there to grind for.
Yeah, like origin traits, which we'll get to, and weapon foundries, and it's a cherry on top, the mementos. Like you play Gambit, you get a Gambit memento, which is like a skin for the gun.
I like it. I mean, maybe not the Gambit one, but maybe the Trials one. I can imagine the Trials one will be very gold. I love gold.
Yep.
All right. We're going to jump into Dr. Proctor's fucking prescription of tuning. Look.
Yeah, give me the short version of this.
Oh, man. Like, fuck. Every time, right, these come around, I think back to remember that episode where me and you like really genuinely tried to explain all of this shit before we realized it was like a fucking lost cause, and we were having to go and like look up what perks even did to begin with before, so I can understand what the changes meant. Every time I read patch notes that are this detailed, and I love it, but I think of that and I'm like, I am not who this is aimed at.
Do you want me to summarize this? This is just basically saying that the mountaintops, they were pinnacle weapons, right?
Pinnacle weapons.
The mountaintops, they were too strong.
Yeah, so they've made them like they've made them like a serviceable, good gun, right? Like instead of being the gun, you know, like think about fucking what was the name of that bloody stupid SMG that everyone used for 700 years. Yeah, like it was the best gun in the game for fucking ages, and you had to be sweaty as fuck to get it. I never could get my head around like you're really good. Here's an even better gun than everyone else. Go and fucking rip their ass out with it. I like this, and this is a good change, I think. I think that, you know, when you look at the examples that they put there, like a Dord is a good sniper rifle, but better sniper rifles shipped alongside it or around it, and you know that's true. Yeah. I mean, it's not true of Salvage's Salvo, but it's for most of them it is. And Ascendancy, especially. I mean, I've not even really used Ascendancy for this reason, and I think that like these weapons largely form a bridge. If you like identify that there's a gap in your arsenal, right? Like if you're, you know, say you're jumping in and you're going, oh, you know, I really need a rocket. And Ascendancy was the sort of sorry, what's the word for it? The pursuit weapon of that season. You go, okay, well, it's pretty good. I'll pick that up and use that until I get something better. So,
exactly. It's like beginner's Destiny. Like, it's not the god roll, but it's not complete trash. You're not like letting down your team in DPS, or you're not. You know, you can at least feel like you can compete in PvP or whatever.
I am so glad that they went through the laboured explanation of what all of this is about and the aim of this system before dropping on everyone that the pursuit weapon this season is a shotgun. Because everyone's already sick of shotguns. The reckless endangerment pursuit shotgun. It's got snapshot. Yep, it's gonna be. It seems like it's gonna be pretty spicy. So I mean,
that warlock nade. They've introduced that warlock nade exotic too. That like gives you double nades with increased tracking.
I mean, look, the one thing that the Sandbox, at least it's less frequent than it was. It would have been horrifying back before they slowed down the abilities. It's kind of okay now. All right, moving on. Origin traits. Strong on this. Strong like next topic.
This is what we've been talking about. You like
no, I mean, like okay. So long story short, basically, it's a trait that is implicit to a weapon that sort of
depending on where it drops.
It's a perk. Yeah, it depends on where you got it from. So to give the examples, Trials of Osiris. If you're playing your PvP, you'll get a perk called Alacrity. Gain increased reload, stability, aim assist, and range when you were the last living member of your fire team or running solo. So, for doing solo content, this may be a you might want to jump into trials to fucking do it before you're taking on the new dungeon or whatever solo. So it'll give you plus 20 reload, plus 20 stability, plus 10 aim assist, plus 10 range. Solo includes Rumble, right? So it's going to be permanently active in Rumble. I thought that was an interesting choice, but hey, I guess everyone can do it. So, and there's one for each. We won't read them all out, but Nightfalls, Crucible in general, Strikes. I'm assuming there's a Gambit one. It's not listed there, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they look yuck. Anyway.
Yeah, Gambit comes up a bit later.
Yeah.
The best looking one, I think, actually, the Vanguard Strikes gives you a small bit of health on killing enemies. 7 health, which might be a really good combo with something. And the Nightfall gives you partially refills your mag and triggers health regeneration on stunning champions, which I
think for GMs that would be massive.
I think the worst one's the Cruci one, which grants reload to people when out of combat.
I don't know. I mean, it will give you the opportunity to sort of be running around, right? And say, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to even think about reloading my guns.
Yeah, but why do you need to reload fast if you're out of combat?
Yeah, it's a good question. But I mean, look, if you do it the other way and you reload faster when you're in combat, it becomes the most broken of them all. So... Exactly. By the way, here's my rockets. Choom. Fucking. Then again, just take Gallahorn and you can do that anyway. No need to worry about it. All right, so that's basically the gist of that. If anyone's got any questions, I don't know, ask one of your more knowledgeable friends. Weapon foundries. Did not see this coming. I like it a lot. I'm not going to read through the little, the little mock situation they put in here with Banshee. I think everyone owes it to themselves to read it. I like it. It's cheeky.
Put your law voice on, everyone, and go read it yourself.
Yes, read it in Mylan Games' voice inside your head.
Banshee discovers weapon foundries that have just basically been sitting behind him for the last fucking 10 years.
It is kind of a piss take, though, of the game in itself in a way, because
it's pretty funny.
Like, everyone's been going, like, what's the deal with weapon foundries for 4 years? And it just turns out there was boxes of this shit that everyone forgot about. That Banshee had slipped his poor buggered mind.
Yeah.
All right. So
Syros synergy is going to have.
Yeah. So I mean, look, the big news. They're replacing the old world loot pool with 12 new weapons in the style of the Destiny 2 Year 1 Foundry weapon sets. So Harker, Omelon, Suros, and what's the other one? Is Tex Vice, that's it. Vice is the real pointy like mean looking ones. I was going to say Tex Mechanica, but I don't think that's actually mentioned here. Now that I think about it, I think Chaperone's specifically mentioned later on, but I don't know. Maybe they're like an exotic foundry. Who knows? All right, so there will be plenty of these weapons in the pool. Is kind of what that's implying. But each each foundry has its own sort of bespoke perk that it will come with, much the same as like the Origin perks above. So Suros Synergy reloads grants this weapon bonus handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short time. So I mean, it's pretty handy that there's a picture of a fucking Suros sniper rifle immediately above it. That would be very, very tasty on. And look, Harker, I don't know, Harker breach armaments. Is that Harker? Is that how you're saying that? Can we agree on a pronunciation for that? I don't like that.
Yeah, I had someone else say it differently.
Hacky.
No, isn't it Hake?
I don't know.
You shouldn't ask me. I say Hake, I think.
You say Bandoilo, which I really picked the wrong fucking person to ask, haven't I? I back my own judgment. Then again, I'm still getting people giving me shit for calling Harbinger. Harbinger. Right.
Well, this is weird. It does damage to structures and turrets and stuff.
Yeah, when's that going to be fucking useful? I mean, maybe it's going to be more useful. Maybe there'll be more turrets. Maybe there's, who knows?
I think people were saying like the what's the high void eyes called again?
Shriekers.
Shriekers.
Yes.
Might be a structure turret.
Do they count as a turret? I mean, that technically.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they do.
Have you asked Shriekers how they feel about being designated a turret? Because they do seem to be like alive.
Yeah, tanks in whatever that strike mission is.
Shit like that makes me wish that there was like more big team stuff. Like remember back in D1 when you got the bigger maps and you'd have, you know, the few little vehicles that you could hop in and all that sort of stuff. I feel like a perk like that would come into its own. Probably the biggest PvP use of it is like it will shred fucking stasis crystals. So if people are like using them to try and shatter you or whatnot, you can bust them pretty quick.
You'd probably slam oracles. Maybe. Anyway, time will tell. Completely replace the oracle perk.
Omelon fluid dynamics. This weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. So yeah, it's kind of the opposite of under pressure, right? I guess it's and Viced Stinger, chance on damage to partially refill this weapon's magazine.
That one feels great.
I mean, it depends on how big of a chance it is, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's like anything. How long's a piece of string? It could be fucking great. It could be hopeless. We don't know. Anyway, thanks for giving us a heads up, Chris. Good on you.
Yeah.
All right.
Essentially, they can, depending on where a weapon's from, it can have like a combination of those. So if you get the weapon from Gambit and it's also Hake, you will have a Gambit Origin trait and a Hake trait.
Yeah, I like that. It feels like they're getting a bit more. The weapons are getting a stronger identity, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's not something.
You pick up a weapon from an area. You can also put a momentum on it, and it also has like an Origin or like a Foundry trait.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't have thought that was something that like I wanted necessarily. I was concerned about, but now that I'm being presented with it, I like the idea of it. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, look, we all kind of know roughly where things drop from anyway, but now having an additional kind of perk that comes along with it, maybe it makes things. There will be one combination of this it's probably not the obvious one that will be incredibly fucking strong, and people will be grinding some random fucking activity until their eyes run out of their skulls to get a combination of these perks. So I'm calling it now. There'll be one. It'll be great. All right, what else have we got?
I don't know. I don't feel like the global stuff is worth going into.
Global. Yeah, look, there's
I think a special ammo drop in Crucible is probably a pretty big change in there. Players now only drop one special ammo on death, no matter how much they're carrying.
Yeah.
The maximum you can pick up off a special brick is one for a shotgun, a fusion rifle, or sniper rifle.
like that change as much as like, I mean, I predominantly run a shoddy in PvP these days. Fell Winters, don't judge me. I mean, apparently it's getting nerfed. I'm probably out of hand in that. But I like that change because, I mean, there has been times where I've found myself with fucking like literal full ammo in a shotgun, and you shouldn't be doing that. You know, like where I'm at the point where I'm like, I have more ammo than I know I'm going to get through in this life. So a good change.
They're changing some stuff to archetypes.
Yeah, I mean that's real nitty gritty shit. That like if you've got a gun that you love that is directly affected by this, you're going to want to read it and understand it for yourself. So, I
mean, like a good example is the fusion rifles. Like Cartesian coordinate, it's not a high impact, but it's doing crazy DPS. So there's like no point using anything else. So I think they're just trying to bring a lot of other archetypes in line with the other ones, essentially. Well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like some of it is relatively subtle. Like I found where he's saying that they've increased high impact fusion rifle damage per bolt from 62 to 64, and you go like, fucking big whoop. But when they're saying that actually like shunts it over a threshold into like what will be a kill and what will not be a kill, then you go, okay, well that's where the needle is, right? Like we're talking 2 damage in a bolt can make the difference between something being like really good and serviceable or, you know, not the preferred option for that task. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff in here. If you are interested in this sort of stuff.
Some of the aim assist on sniper rifles, which is, I don't know.
Where was that specifically? Yeah, I mean, look, this is probably worth reading because snipers were very prevalent in PvP before this change. And it's probably fair to say that they've really waned over the interceding year. So he says, we took a big swing at sniper rifle aim assist based on zoom in Beyond Light. And having seen this play out, we are revising the tuning on the zoom-based AA scaling. Low zoom snipers got more of an aim assist reduction than they needed. High zoom snipers are getting some pretty crazy, silly headshots right now. So they're reducing variance in the AA scaling between low and high zoom sniper rifles, and the Drewski's cone scaler. I don't know.
Cones.
I'm not even going to pretend to understand what cones mean in this context, but is increased by approximately 25% on low zoom and reduced by approximately 9% on high zoom. So what they're saying is they're trying to level the playing field in terms of aim assist on different scope variations of sniper rifles. Much needed.
Yep. The cool thing underneath that is Pulses, man. Pulses getting a buff to
I'm
PvE.
looking forward to this. And you know what? I want them to buff PvE like pulse rifles, and I want them to bring back the like blast furnace and all of that from Forge. I need that gun back in my life. Blast furnace, probably my favorite gun in Destiny 2.
I don't think I have one.
Very good. I think that was about the period of time that you were you're basically a Destiny non-combatant. I'm just excuse me, I'm just a law scribe. Just feeling like a war correspondent. I don't actually play this shit. I'm just here to write stuff down. Look at you now. You're fucking unstoppable. All right. So exotic weapons, there is a heap here, but there is some fucking immense changes too.
Yeah, dude, basically to the bullet points.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, look, all primary exotics, all of them, are getting increased damage to miners in PvE by 40%. Like, that's fucking immense. Like, that's huge.
What do I need to get out?
I am so excited about Tarabar. I know it's silly, but I love that gun anyway. Mainly because it's a Tasmanian devil in a gun and it screams.
I think I've got Tarabar.
You might have to buy it with spoils because it's the only way to get it now. Yeah. It also lends itself to that really silly solar build that I was doing a while back where, you end up with Path of Burning Steps.
Pulses are going to do stupid fucking damage now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
no time to explain.
It'll be interesting to see where No Time and like what's the Zero Hour one? What's it called? Jesus. Outbreak Perfected. Yeah, where that. I mean, are we talking like 40% of the little annoying little thing damage that floats around as well? You'd have to think so. It makes a little fucking Seaver mites that just annoy the shit, harass everyone.
Yeah.
Their insults will be 40% more debilitating. Sounds unreal.
Risk Runner, does that also count? Risk Runner?
Well, I mean, it'd have to. It's a primary weapon.
It's primary.
It's a primary. So
Dude,
not only
Risk Runner's already fucking pogged here.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'll tell you what. I hope there's not a lot of arc in the new fucking raid, or it will be very trivial.
If there's arc in the raid, I'm literally just running Risk.
Definitely running risky business. It'll be in there. Fucking hell. That Tarabar. All right. I'm gonna need to sit and think this through because I saw Tarabar and they've made some subtle changes to it. Look, we'll go through this. We'll read it point to point. Chaperone. Look, everyone's sick to death of fucking Chaperone in PvP, getting fucking mapped by it. So they're reducing the passive range buff from 2 meters to 0.5 meters. So hopefully that brings it back. Duality, they're reducing the passive range buff in slug mode, which is aiming down sights, from 1.25 meters to 0.5. So it'll be the same as Shappy above. And the on black wings damage buff no longer clears on the reload. So that was a pretty punishing. It was hard to do that. To keep that perk active. Tarabar. So now instead of its perk, the damage perk called Ravenous Beast.
Ravenous Beast.
Yeah, instead of to accrue that, you needed to basically have the gun out at all times. You no longer need to do that. It'll if you change off, it'll sort of dock half of your charge for it. But I mean that's twice as good as it used to be, I suppose. And increased duration of Ravenous Beast for damaging a player slightly. I don't really. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't necessarily think Tarabar, if they go full tilt with this and they you don't clear that perk by switching weapons, it will become one of the most broken guns in PvP. But it's just not there yet. So yeah, I think relatively good change. A ruinous effigy. Yeah, Jesus.
I mean, look, there's lots of cool stuff here.
Yeah. Probably actually
maybe Dead Man people probably be most interested in, and the flinch for Lorenz driver.
And Lumina, or Lumina, however you pronounce it, they've basically broken it out of its archetype. They're increasing its range stat from 44 to 59 and increased base stability from 46 to 56. Basically, they're moving it away from where Thorn sits as a gun. They're not doing this to Thorn because it would completely destroy the Crucible. But for a gun that I love the gun model of, it's kind of got that, it's a very unique gun in terms of the way it functions. I like the fact that they're doing a little bit to try and bring it into contention because it's just not been there for a very long time. Aegis Scepter, yeah, cool. Dead Man's, I felt like they could have just come along and went, instead of you pull the trigger on someone on Dead Man's, it just damages you and they get no damage. I thought that would have been a good change. It's we've turned the fucking gun barrel around, so you just hurt yourself. But they're reducing the catalyst hip fire rate from 150 RPM to 130 RPM. What that actually pans out like, I have no idea. I assume it'll stop the annoying spam shooting from the hip to some extent, but I don't think it's really going to change it. Lorentz driver and Arbalist are getting increased flinch. I'm interested to see how that pans out. I don't know that it'll be enough. I hadn't played PvP for quite a while and then came back to it, and I feel like those two guns are just fucking everywhere now. They are hard to get away from, especially Lorentz. It is just, and if you get someone who's competent with it and is slightly laggy in PvP, you're forever just being deleted and being like I can't even see the dude who fucking shot me. So I hope that something changes there. I hope that that's enough to bring it back to the pack.
Yeah.
All right, legendary weapons. Again, there's an absolute mountain of stuff here. But probably the most pertinent is the changes to the 140 RPM hand cannons. There's some stat changes. Sorry, I'll read this.
I'll be honest, I don't really understand exactly what's happened with all the hand cannons and the history of the hand cannons and the fucking...
I don't know. I mean, I think Destiny's got a checkered history with hand cannons because hand cannons are, when you think about the function of them, you don't need continual line of sight to use a hand cannon effectively because of shot pacing. So it's not like an auto rifle where, you're fully committed if you're trying to kill someone. So that they're always going to be strong.
Based on like when the 150s were converted to 140s, the stats were either too low or too high. So
so they're adjusting them. So I mean, the examples there, Waking Vigil of this lot is probably my favorite of them. Spare Rats is in there as well, which is interesting because Spare Rations is currently sunset.
Oh, I want to bring this up because someone brought it up in chat.
Yes.
About Proctor was on Massive Breakdowns podcast and mentioned if the changes with Lorenz Driver wasn't enough, they were having another plan change for season 17. But also, they revealed there was like 40. He revealed how many guns are going to be. I think there's 42.
That's fucking stat. When you consider where we were with Beyond Light, when there was like, I don't know, it felt like 6 or something. I'm not sure. It probably wasn't that bad.
42 new guns. I think it's on Twitter.
Didn't feel like there was a lot. Yeah, I'm sure Merc. Go and check out Mercules if you're looking for that tidbit of information. 42.
Yeah.
There you go. The meaning of life. How good. Right. And here we are. Fel Winter's Lie intrinsic perk makes it far too consistent and lethal compared to similar shotguns. It's had plenty of time to shine. Get in the bin, Fel Winters. Plus 15 to spread angle. You're getting spread out. Fucking cop that. But
Kelos SMG, mate.
I've got a really good roll of that, but I've never really built into it. So
I used to use it a lot with Warbind cells.
Yeah, right.
And even when I thought other SMGs should be better, they never did it. And now I've realized its stats are wildly out of band for an aggressive SMG. And that's why it felt so good.
It's basically, it was borderline auto rifle. I don't know. It's cool. Yeah. All right, and there's a whole heap of fucking stuff about Jesus Christ. This is an absolute marathon effort. Matt, do you have any choice takeaways from the perks section of this? Because this is literally where we always fall off a cliff. We know what guns are. We know what they do. We understand bullets. We understand the firing rates. The fucking perks.
Honestly, it's probably the last 2 points. Eager's Edge. They're
nerfing that. They're worried about the mobility in the raid, clearly.
Yeah, that's probably the most important takeaway. They're worried about that. I don't know what... So they're reducing the lunge distance while airborne by 25%, and they're capping the airborne velocity.
Yeah, so it means that you can't just become an absolute fucking torpedo.
Here's the thing, right? Okay, here's the thing.
Yep.
When I did sparrow racing, with the Grasp of Avarice, and I allowed people to ride a sparrow. Shit, I should get that other sparrow, shouldn't I?
Always on time.
Raid. Yeah.
Maybe.
There'll probably be a sparrow section in the raid, wouldn't there?
There normally is. Okay. Anyway.
So when we compared the times of people doing like literally perfect runs, speed skating or just doing it normally with the sparrow, the difference in time is like a minute. It's you if you have a good run on a sparrow and it's easier on that sparrow, you can easily do a 2-minute run of the Grasp of Avarice.
Yep.
You can get sub a minute if you fucking hit all your jumps with
the sword.
With the sword.
Yeah. So it's
so like
insanely
I don't
powerful.
Think, like you gotta have pretty big fucking balls or be running a macro. It's probably a macro. You'd have to be running a macro to be doing it during Worlds first, just because of really good with the button combinations.
No, I mean, look, there is people out there that we know that would do this.
True.
that would be able to, like the speedrunning community, it was kind of like they got world line back for a little while, like not to put words in their mouth, but at least there was something that was capable of sort of replicating that mobility. Look,
that being said, though, there is like Grasp of Avarice, right? There are whole sections you can skip that don't require a sparrow, like just spawning in, getting to like a checkpoint, or crossing the gap in the servitor room, the shield. You can't use a sparrow there, but you can sword skate without you can completely bypass.
Yeah, and I think that's the concern. But I mean, having said that, like quite clearly, I mean, they're only reducing it by a quarter, right? And they're capping the velocity so that you can't, like, you know, bridge impossible gaps. I don't think that it's going to be as pronounced as, you know, it seems. Like 25% in the grand scheme of things for something that's, you know, it's pretty crazy as it stands. I don't think it's the end of the world.
I can tell you right now, I will still be taking it in with line ramparts with my Titan into the raid.
Just in case.
Because there will be a jumping puzzle of some sort, and
it will make your life easier, won't it? It'll fucking help.
I honestly think it will still help.
Yeah. But like, good. So it should. It should, like, it's a smart thing to take in. And I mean, we're not talking about doing a raid on day one with locked loadouts. It's maybe you whack it on for just a platforming section. Maybe you come up against one hurdle that you need it to cross, or it'll make it easier. I think it's a great idea. All right, the last thing, occasionally we shelve perks. Fucking big weekend. Right. So I heard of people doing it with eckies, not necessarily perks. Anyway, moving on. Bottomless Grief and Celerity are getting shelved. Underdog's getting shelved. Shield Disorient's getting shelved. Air Assault, straight up the clacker. Get out. Goodbye.
Dude, what does Air Assault do?
Nothing now.
I don't think I've ever seen it. What does it do?
I don't know. I mean, I imagine it does something when you're in the air. What does Air Assault even do? I've never paid attention to that perk. And you know what? Shield Disorient, not far fucking behind it. I know that's just like when it blinds off busting shields or something, is it? Pretty useless for someone who carries around a blinding grenade launcher in most activities. So There you go. All right, the near future, and this is closing out on Chris's, I don't know, War and Peace epic of pre-patch notes. In Season 17, we'll have a set of PvP-focused weapon changes, including new ways for players to build for flinch resistance, hopefully not for Lorentz Driver after them just giving it more flinch. Basic tuning for primary weapons, looking at you, pulse rifles, lightweights in particular. Special weapons tuning, snapshot feeling mandatory on sniper rifles in PvP, other balance changes. I hope desperately that this doesn't mean that they just nerf snapshot and make all sniper rifles worse. I feel like it would be great if they could bring other sniper rifles up to the bar without having snapshot. I mean, they're right in saying that, like, I don't use any sniper rifle that doesn't have snapshot because I feel like shit. Another PvP special ammo economy change if needed. Adjusting how zoom outliers, both low and high, affect the performance of subsets of weapons, i.e. the scope. Yep, cool. That's not very cool. And we're also adjusting several much requested exotics, actually. They might not even be much loved ones, along with legendary perks.
Probably looking at you, fucking Le Monarch.
Yeah, look. That's probably the most surprising thing about all of these patch notes is there was no fucking, it wasn't even in there. Like, there would have been people that are that angry about the state of that gun in Crucible that they would have word searched it when loading this document up. I've been feverishly scrolling through looking for the nerfing Le Monarch into oblivion, and it just never happened. So,
you know, I think I can share this now because it's time's passed. And you might remember we had Chris Proctor on the Other Shit podcast, our co-host.
Yeah, look,
community podcast.
Yeah.
And there was some question like, I think it was like, what should be nerfed? And Chris is like, I'm not telling you. He's like, I got the stats. for a weapon that is not used often, but when it is used, it has a very high win rate or something like that.
Yep.
And I was like, please tell us, please tell us, please tell us. And then he's like, I'm sure it will come up in the future. And yeah, he told us after it was Le Monarch. So, you know.
So they know. I get the feeling
know.
that
of course
it might,
they know.
I get the feeling that it might be
but
like they might
be
going down the path of actually redesigning the gun a bit or the bow a bit rather than just nerfing it into oblivion. And I, in a way, would prefer that. It's just its synergy with other weapons is just so fucking strong that, you know, maybe there needs to be some kind of drawback.
Yeah. The thing is, at that point, it looked like it was strong, but it wasn't being used a lot. Like, I know I definitely face off again, but it wasn't every match.
Yeah, now it feels like a fucking plague now. I don't know. I mean, it's like
I
always think that there's a perception thing with Destiny and like, you know, it's not until someone really like breaks like a build that centers around something that you know, and then it becomes like widespread community knowledge that something really becomes oppressively annoying. Like if one person's smart enough to be able to fucking figure out that function of the gun and use it themselves, it's not a huge issue until everyone starts doing it. So I don't know. It's definitely like fallen into the ladder category now because I think every second PvP game you'll find someone at the top of the ladder that's pretty proficient at using it and swapping. I'll say this for Sass. I've watched Sass do it once we were mucking around playing 1v1s. I couldn't get a fucking shot on him because he was killing me that quick with that. It was fucking terrifying. So I think like the one thing that you can take solace of is that there would be a lot of people at the top end of the skill curve that would be going, no, I'm not doing that. Because if they were doing it, no one would be playing PvP. It's just revolting. All right, cool. There you go. That's it. How good. Actually, one last thing. Weapons being cycled out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weapons leaving the loot pool. The obtainable loot pool. And obviously nothing sunset anymore. So if you've already got these guns, you're sweet. Trolls of Osiris. The Igneous Hammer, everyone's favorite gun over the last sort of year or so, is, you know, it's been a much in demand weapon. If you haven't got a god roll of it already, you've just not been trying hard enough. I don't think there was weeks when it was basically free. Solar's Scar, the sword as well. Nightfalls, the Swarm, machine gun, Shadow Price auto rifle, Azumi, and the Hung Jury are making their way out. And Iron Banner, we are losing the Multi-Mark, Time-Worn Spire, Guiding Sight, and Steady Hand. So obviously there will be new weapons rotated in to replace them. Looking forward to seeing what they are. Oh, we done it.
How freeing does it feel knowing that you can make a god roll? Because I look at that now, I'm like, it's okay. I'll just make whatever I need.
I just hope it's that strong. Yeah. I hope my great fear of the crafting, right? And like back me up if you feel this way in chat, is that like it's going to come in, it's going to be this great, well thought out system, but the best gun you can craft on the table is still going to be just a fucking smidgen below the best gun that you can get out in the wild. And that like the function of it would make no difference, right? But the psychology of knowing that there is a gun that is fucking 1% better out in the wild will still make people go out and chase the gun in the wild. Maybe that's a good thing.
I think that might be your raids, your dungeons.
Yeah, and it probably should be, to be honest. It should be the pinnacle stuff.
Pinnacle stuff you can't craft. But we know that pursuit weapons are not going to be the best, so it's probably going to be maybe raid weapons haven't been really. Deep Stone Crypt got some good ones with the shotgun, and
Heritage and the sniper rifle. Succession, they were both pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, like depending what you were trying to do, they could be up there, best in class. But I don't know. I mean, I've still largely just used a first in, last out for the same job. So I don't know.
Someone in chat, George says the raid weapons are craftable in Witch Queen.
What? Well, once
I
you
don't know,
unlock
I'm
them,
chat.
fucking look. All right, look. I'm pulling up chat. It will be recorded for the rest of time on YouTube. You're making up stories, George. We'll fucking get to the bottom of it.
We'll come after you, mate.
I won't. I'm too lazy, but someone else might live in fear.
Confirmed by James
James,
Sy in the
he would
preview
muck
video.
around. Okay. Wow. But I like it. Like I don't. If you decide that there is a gun, right, and I've done it with fucking Fatebringer of late, that I've chased the Osmosis
but here's
Firefly
the thing.
Fatebringer.
You're gonna have
I
to
could
get
go
the
and make
patent
myself.
first.
Yeah, you got to go and like get the gun, and then
Yeah,
find
you
all
probably
the
have to get the
ingredients.
patent from the raid. Fair.
Yeah.
If you have to go get the patent from the raid, fair.
I mean, do we? Are we going to get like time? I mean, obviously there won't be time lost because that was specific to the vault. What was that? Who's being fucking
Said,
nightbotted?
don't ban me, bot, and he posted the link. It probably goes straight to the.
Fucking Nightbot just nuked the poor bugger from orbit. Sorry, mate. Yeah, our Nightbot's particularly fucking angry. But it's all good. So James
George,
Sy.
he remembered this from August 24, 2021.
I can't even remember. I mean, that's like 2 COVID outbreaks ago for us. That's a fucking lifetime ago. George, you've got a great brain. Look after it.
Look after it.
All right. Okay. We're gonna give you fucking literally 5 minutes. This show will go for no more than 5 minutes longer. But I want you to tell us, out of all of this shit, the mountain of information we've got. It could be the Bungie merger with Sony making TV shows. It could be the changes to the fucking Sandbox. It could be weapon crafting. Tell us which one you are most excited about. What's rustling your jimmies, and then we'll fuck off, eh? You've been talking for a long time today.
Oh, dude, I'm
You
brain fatigued.
are starting to wane. You're getting that like my kids get when they're a bit. they're tired, but they don't want to admit that they're tired, so they just get this intense staring at things kind of deal going on. Midnight Coup returning.
I honestly think the best thing is not just weapon crafting; it's being able to weapon craft.
Re-weapon craft. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit off script. I tweeted this earlier in the week, but I think the best piece of news is for the future of folks who work at Bungie making a massive deal like that if that's where they want to make their home, that they've got pretty massive job security now going forward. And I don't think you can put a price on that given where the world's been in the last 2 years. Obviously, smart asses like Jugs will say you can put a $3.6 billion fucking price tag on it, but you know, if that's where you want to be and you know you're able to do that for the rest of your careers or whatever you want to do, then you know, more power to you. I think it's awesome. God, I'm a boring grown up. I'm just glad that people can pay their mortgages. That's me. I'm not particularly worried about the new guns coming to me in my video game. I just want people to be able to participate in commerce. Very good.
Fucking read your newspaper, you old fart.
Oh, no. Go and read print newspapers and kill trees. That's me. PTD, I'm super excited about crafting. To be just more for crafting to do. Oh, fuck. How to coach negative sentiment into an initially positive seeming fucking message. Fucking have a sook. Have a sook. There you go. PTD's taking out the inaugural DDU Sook of the Week.
Hey, dude left a good comment. I'm more excited about talking about our experiences having fun with new and old players in Destiny.
That's wholesome as fuck. That's what we want.
Yes. Who the fuck are you? Get out. It's not a wholesome place.
First time in chat, Matt. First time in chat, dude. You know, it comes out with an absolute pearl of positivity, and you turn around and tell the man to fuck off. Like,
it's good. It's
all
really
right,
good.
Let's piss off. Let's get out of here. And until next week, we I don't know, Dead Shits Down Under podcast. I feel like we look. I'm going to give myself a mid-range pat on the back for getting through all of that without being too stumped by any of it. I had read it before, which is, you know, when we get the normal twabs, I don't. But I think we did okay.
I think that was an excellent summary. Yeah, we didn't go into the nitty gritty, but I think you got the main points. Pat on the back. Best podcast.
I kind of like I don't want to replace people reading the 12. I think it's an important part of your Destiny weekly ritual, right? What I see our role is intriguing people in the 12 enough to go and read it for themselves. So we'll give you some like we're basically like a fucking glorified trailer for the 12 at this point. It's like a Bungie trailer. Fucking synced up gun reloading, and then it's just me and Matt making like quips about the 12 that we don't really even understand.
There you go.
All right, fuck off. See you next week. Have a good one. Hang around for a raid. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.